Hello there, good evening. You're watching the national news broadcast live on Sri Lanka Rupavahini. I'm Chaga Gamage.
And I'm Sutami Jaratna. Now let's take a look at today's headlines.
Bonus for 22,000 dairy farmers from Milco company after 21 years. A special traffic plan from 5th of this month for the sacred relics exposition at Ganga Rama. Manning marker digitalized, an online payment system also. 10 persons connected to Trincomalee Buddha statue incident further remanded. Striking by GMOA totally unjust despite being provided with facilities, alleges the people. CID issued orders to take into custody Samindra Rajapaksha, son of Chamal Rajapaksha, and to be produced in the court. A number of areas affected by cold storm in the USA. 100 deaths reported, 1,200 flights cancelled.
Moving on to those stories and more in detail, the 78th National Independence Day will be celebrated on a grand scale on the 4th at the Independence Square. And all-night spirit chanting organised in line with this event will be held tonight.
Now the national television will telecast live the occasion from 9:30 p.m. today. An alms giving is scheduled to be offered tomorrow morning.
The Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya participated in the South Asia Regional Conference of the World Federation of Consults 2026 held today at the Cinnamon Life, Colombo. The conference is hosted by the Association of Consults in Sri Lanka and the World Federation of Consults. The conference begins together diplomats, business leaders and policymakers to strengthen regional cooperation and explore new venues for sustainable development across South Asia. The conference will conclude on the 4th of this month.
I am happy to state that one of the most enduring strengths of Sri Lanka lies in its human resources. Despite economic and global challenges, Sri Lanka continues to maintain a high human development index, strongly supported by decades of investments in free education and free healthcare. This strong social foundation has enabled Sri Lankan professionals, skilled workers, and entrepreneurs to make valuable contributions to the advancement of the society, not only at home but also elsewhere across the globe. Orderly and systematic migration has long been an important component of Sri Lanka's engagement with the global economy. The foreign currency remittances from our migrant workers remain a critical source of national income and economic stability in Sri Lanka. Equally important is the role played by the Sri Lankan diaspora, whose presence across continues to be a source of inspiration, knowledge transfer, cultural exchange, and global connectivity for our nation.
It's heartening to note the pioneering role FICAC has played in strengthening the global consular community by fostering cooperation, mutual understanding, and people-to-people connections beyond formal diplomacy, as was mentioned by our Foreign Minister, aligned with shared goals of peace and international cooperation. The Consular Corps occupies a unique and vital place in international relations as the first point of contact for citizens abroad and as facilitators of trade, cultural understanding, and trust between states. Sri Lanka is honored to host this conference at a pivotal moment in its history. Forums such as these, which bring together diverse international actors, are vital for shaping this collective response. At the same time, I also want to extend my appreciation and gratitude to the international community for heeding our call post-Cyclone Ditwa and not cancelling on us, and on continuing to engage with us and continuing to accept Sri Lanka as a safe tourist destination. We are very, very grateful to the international community for this, for that expression of confidence that was so important to us in that recovery process.
Sacred relics of Lord Buddha to be brought to this country from India on the 4th of this month will be displayed on 5th 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. on the 11th of February at Ganga Rama Vihare, Hunupitiya.
Special security and traffic program will be implemented around Ganga Rama Vihare during this period. Several roads around Gangarama Vihara will remain closed and entrance of heavy vehicles will also be restricted on several roads. According to police, several parking lots have also been reserved for parking. A special transport service will also be conducted for the convenience of the devotees. Since the exposition of sacred relics of Lord Buddha will be held 24 hours, a special security arrangement for the devotees will also be operational. Police media spokesman ASP F.U. Woodler announced the commencement of a special vehicle service aimed at facilitating travel for devotees between the Old Mod parking lot, Port City parking lot and Shangri-La parking lot, extending up to the Gangarama temple. He informed the public that entry is currently restricted for vehicles travelling from the James Spirit Mavatha Jinaratana Mavatha junction toward the temple via Jinaratana Mavatha. Access to the temple area is also restricted from the Hunupitia Lake Road junction and the Lake Crescent junction. Additionally, he noted that vehicles cannot enter Jinaratana Mavatha from the Park Street junction. He further specified that entry to Muthaya Road is blocked from both the Staple Street junction and the James Spirit Mavatha junction.
The new online payment system at the newly digitalized Mani Market in Paliyagoda was officially launched, and about 1,400 businessmen will have service facilities through this system. The Ministry of Digital Economy has been taken measures to start this service to ease the payment activities of the business community at the heavily business Mani Market. The new online payment system, which was introduced by the Urban Development Authority, was launched under the patronage of Minister Bima Ratnayaka and Deputy Minister Erangavira Ratna. This will provide facilities for the businessmen to pay their taxes and daily payments through the GovPay app. It has been planned to expand this system at all economic centres island-wide. Minister Bima Ratnayaka emphasizes that the businesses must modernize and adapt new technologies. He observed that many workers in the country no longer have the time to visit the Mani Market in person. Therefore, he encouraged vendors to continue both wholesale and retail operations but suggests integrating modern approaches with their existing businesses. The minister highlighted the disconnect between the Mani Market's traditional trade practices, which date back to the colonial era of 1990, and the requirements of a modern digital payment system. He explained that his team has introduced a new payment system to bridge this gap and improve the overall efficiency and appeal of the market. Finally, he pledged to provide the necessary facilities to make life easier for those people involved. He urged the vendors to take lead and in elevating the Mani Market to its full potential as Sri Lanka's premier wholesale trade hub.
Now more in your local news for tonight. The 10 suspects, including Venerable Balanguda Kassapathera, who have been taken into custody in connection with illegally placing Buddha statue in Trincomalee, have been further remanded until the 9th of this month. This order was given by Trincomalee Magistrate M.S.M. Samuddin. The case regarding this incident was summoned on the 28th of last month, and the charge sheets were presented to the courts following the conclusion of all investigations. Considering the documents, the case was postponed until today. As ordered earlier herein, the magistrate also ordered the 5 suspects who have evaded the courts to be produced on the next date of hearing. Colombo Chief Magistrate's Court ordered today to direct a whole of narcotics which were taken into Sri Lanka Navy's custody to the government analyse and call up a report. The whole, which was brought to the Thick-Ovita Fisheries Harbour, has a market value of 3 billion rupees. The stock of narcotics with 11 fishermen was produced before the court today under special security. Considering the fact presented by the Police Chief Magistrate Asankes Bodragama gave this order. Navy had seized 109 kilograms of ice narcotics and 112 kilograms of heroin concealed in the multi-day vessel, which was functioned by the suspected fishermen on the 25th of last month. The Colombo Fort Magistrates Court today ordered the Criminal Investigation Department to arrest and produce before the court Shamindu Rajapaksha, the younger son of former Speaker Chamal Rajapaksha, in connection with a magisterial inquiry into alleged financial fraud relating to the purchase of 14 Airbus aircraft for Sri Lanka Airlines. Meanwhile, the CID has named Shamindu Rajapaksha as the 3rd suspect in the case on the instructions of Attorney General. They are accused of accepting a bribe of $2 million from an Airbus company and laundering the funds in connection with the establishing of new Airbus fleet of the Sri Lanka Airlines.
Meanwhile, people allege that it is an extremely unjust act on the part of the Government Medical Officers Association to engage in a strike despite facilities being provided to them. And they point out that due to unexpected strikes, patients are constantly being affected. The Government Medical Officers Association has conducted this strike based on several demands, and innocent patients are victimized on all these occasions, according to the people. People who visit hospitals to get treatment are facing immense difficulties due to the strike conducted by a number of hospitals island-wide. The patients are forced to return disappointed due to the strike. People said that only a very small group from the medical field is involved in this strike. They claim this small group has infiltrated high positions and it is directing the current actions. They are marking numerous serious demands that some governments cannot fulfill. People accuse them of using innocent patients as bait to carry out these strikes. They express that the public have become helpless and necessary medicine should be provided without making them feel helpless. They described the action being taken as unfair and also pointed out that all the patients are innocent and that their demands have already been met by the authorities. They further said that what is happening is not right and explains that the patients have come from remote areas. After travelling so far and are now stranded since there are no doctors available. There's a large crowd who expressed that the strike is uncalled for. The Thera, who was present there, pointed out that the government recently provided a significant salary increase to the government employees in the last budget. The Thera observed that despite this, the Medical Association has launched a strike by attempting to put the government in a difficult position. It is the innocent patient who are the first to suffer great distress. The Thera made a polite request not to fall prey to reactionary political groups or try to create difficulties for the state.
Now, Minister Bimal Ratnayake says that according to the Teacher Services Constitution, teachers can only be recruited by holding a competitive examination. This matter has been confirmed both by the Public Services Commission and several court decisions. The minister, expressing his views to media, said that in such backdrop, resorting the hunger strike is not an appropriate step. Deputy Minister Kaushalya Ariratna said that there is a historical and legal framework governing the appointment of development officers to schools. She stated that previous governments appointed development officers to schools through an informal or irregular process rather than a standardized system. She noted that the Public Service Commission has issued a clear directive stating that the attachment of development officers to the teaching service is illegal. The Deputy Minister explained that according to the Teaching Service Constitution, there are specific criteria and standards that must be met for recruitment into the teaching service. She mentioned that the development officers working in schools took this matter to court. However, the court directed the Public Service Commission's criteria must be followed. She claims this legal process prevented the holding of teacher examinations for several years, resulting in a significant teacher shortage in schools. She emphasized that it is essential to hold the teacher examination and recruit teachers properly. The Deputy Minister asserted there is no obstacle preventing these development officers from sitting for the examination to formally join the teaching service. She added that certain groups without a political base are using the development officers as human shields to lead political protests, which he deems inappropriate. Minister Bimal Ratnayake said that in the past there were instances where ministers recruited teachers in highly informal settings such as in rest houses. He alleged that the father of current opposition leader provided appointments to teachers who lacked any qualification, a situation he claims teachers are still suffering from today. The minister pointed out that a teaching service constitution now exists and the recruitment for competitive examination is a law gazetted within that constitution. He said that neither the president, the prime minister nor any minister could change these legal recruitments at their own will. Now today is a special day to the world since the World Wetland Day falls today.
The theme of this year has been Wetlands and Traditional Knowledge, celebrating the cultural heritage. Today is the day to commemorate the anniversary of the Ramsar Agreement and the international agreement reached to safeguard wetlands at the parties connected with wetlands, which was held at Ramsar in Iran on the 2nd of February 1971. The World Wetland Day was declared on the 3rd of August 2021 as per a proposal passed by the United Nations General Assembly. The day was declared taking into account the contribution to human beings and the sustenance of the earth by wetland extended at a vast area worldwide. The main objective is to conserve wetlands for the future. Sri Lanka is also an extremely rich country in wetlands. Natural wetlands around saline marshlands as well as ponds, rivers, deltas and flooded valleys are existent as natural freshwater waterlands in the country. Sri Lanka also has the biodiversity due to tanks, paddy fields and waterlands such as man-made canals. The city of Colombo was declared a city with wetlands by the International Ramsar Alliance for Wetlands in 2018. The wetlands store water around paddylands and also reduce the risk on environmental damage as well as controlling floods. Wetlands are also an essential factor for biodiversity, resilience to environmental changes and human well-being. The World Wetland National Festival was held today at Apegama Bathurmula premises under the patronage of Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya. The function was held under the theme Wetlands and Let Us Safeguard the Cultural Heritage Linked with the Traditional Knowledge. Launching of the Waterfall Guidelines and the Wetland magazine, which include a list of waterfalls and a number of other programs, were also conducted on this occasion.
Now, the 68th annual Grammy Awards took place at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles today, recognizing outstanding achievements in the music industry. Hosted by Trevor Noah, this ceremony served as a definitive showcase of this year's most impactful recordings, harmonizing the influence of established global icons with the emergence of new talent within the streaming landscape. This year's proceedings were marked by significant milestones in genre representation and historical record-breaking wins.
Where the Grammy celebrates the best of all music.
The ceremony demonstrated a profound commitment to musical diversity as wins were distributed across a wide spectrum of artists who have redefined modern music. Kendrick Lamar solidified his legacy by becoming the most awarded hip-hop artist in the history of Grammy Awards. In a landmark moment for global music, Bad Bunny made history as the first artist to win the night's most prestigious honor, Album of the Year.
Their homeland, their country to follow, their dreams.
Don't fall into despair.
The major categories reflected a blend of seasoned veterans and rising stars. Bad Bunny's Album of the Year victory stood alongside Kendrick Lamar and SZA's win for the Record of the Year with Luther.
We're not governed by the government, we're governed by God.
Billie Eilish secured Song of the Year for Wildflower, while Olivia Dean was named Best New Artist. Lady Gaga's Mayhem earned Best Top Vocal Album.
In the studio with a bunch of guys, it can be hard. I urge you to always listen to yourself and always fight for your ideas.
And Kendrick Lamar's GNX took home the award for the Best Rap Album. And in a historic and unexpected moment at the Grammy Awards, Dalai Lama won his first ever Grammy, taking home the award for the Best Audiobook Narration and Storytelling Recording.
And Glassnote Records, thank you so much.
The evening featured several highly viewed performances that utilized advanced stage production. Rose and Bruno Mars opened the event with a high-energy rendition of Arbiter. Followed by Sabrina Carpenter's cinematically staged performance of Man-Child. Lady Gaga delivered a complex operatic set for Mayhem, while a special in memoriam tribute Lauryn Hill Post Malone and Slash. The ceremony also highlighted a significant reunion performance by Clips and Pharrell Williams.
They don't know what it is when I'm on it, but once they figure it out, I don't want it.
Just don't get off the treadmill.
So far ahead, so far behind.
Stay with us, we'll be back with more local news right after a short break.
Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Now, Hansana Balasuriya, who won the Strength and Harmony Award for the first time for Sri Lanka at the 53rd Miss Intercontinental pageant held in Egypt, arrived in the island recently.
Congratulations for this award, Sri Lanka!
Congratulations once again, Sri Lanka!
Contestants representing 56 countries of the world participated in the pageant, which was held from 14th to 29th of January in Shalhasi city in Egypt. Singing and drawing skills of Hansana was also highlighted and appreciated at the festival. The board of judges, acknowledging her skills as a black belt karateka in the third category and also being a Thai boxing player, awarded her the Strength and Harmony Award in recognition of her expertise.
A passenger vessel with 2,171 foreign tourists reached Hambantota harbour from Thailand today. The tourists are scheduled to visit Yala, Udawalawe, Kataragama, Bundala, Hambantota Botanical Gardens and many other places in the country. Ruhunu Tourism Bureau and Hambantota Municipal Council jointly provided required facilities for these tourists.
The Development Lottery Board donated a sum of 15.5 million rupees to Rebuilding Sri Lanka Fund today. The relevant cheque was handed over to President Secretary Dr. Nandika Sanath Kumara Naika by Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Development Lottery Board, Hemantha Swarnathilaka, at the President's office. General Manager of DLB Anuja Radna, Deputy General Manager Finance Kasun Jayasuriya and Deputy General Manager Marketing Chanaka Durangodage were present at this occasion. Now, Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union has appreciated the efforts taken by Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation in enlightening the masses about the disaster and taking steps to provide enlightenment in this regard to mitigate the effect of the damage caused due to Cyclone Ditwa at its meeting held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia recently. This has been published by the ABU Bulletin of very recently. During the time of the affected period, SLRC vested upon responsibility for issuing warnings, taken care of requests by the affected communities, be a communicator between the authorities and the general public. SLRC fulfilled those tasks while taking care of many challenges, including some of their staff who were also affected by the disaster. Conducting its emergency broadcasting activities with the support of key resource personnel, the institution dedicated a vast amount of its human and other resources to expedite the much-needed aid to the affected communities. The SLRC representative Arush Balala highlighted the importance of the message carried to the public by Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation at the ABU coordinators meeting, which was held in Kuala Lumpur in January. Arush Balala delivered a detailed account of the positive responsibility played by the organisation. 31 Asia Vision members and the 30 non-members also joined the 2026 Asia Vision Coordinators meeting in Kuala Lumpur.
Bonus for 22,000 dairy farmers from Milco company after 21 years was conducted today under the theme A Prosperous Country Rich in Dairy Products at Temple Trees. It was held under the guidance of Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya. The festival was organized to appreciate the dairy farmers community connected with Milco, which recorded the highest net profit in 2025. The Prime Minister added that the present government has demonstrated the ability to build state institutions by uprooting frauds and corruption. Membership cards for dairy farmers for their pension were also distributed on this occasion. Secretary to the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, Lands and Irrigation D.P. Vikramasinghe, Parliamentarian Susantha Kumara Navaratna, Chairman of Milco Company, Hemajiva Godhabaya and a number of others were also present on this occasion. The Colombo Stock Market Exchange ended today's trading negatively. The all-share price index closed at 23,681.68 after failing by 130.63 points, which represents a 0.55% change. The S&P SL20 index closed at 6,597.20, down by 43.95 points and 0.66%. Total market capitalization at the close of trading stood at 8.454 trillion rupees. Market turnover for the day amounted to 5.16 billion rupees with 153.58 million shares traded.
Now, the Met Department has issued a general weather forecast for the next 36 hours, warning of several spells of showers across multiple parts of the country, with thunder showers expected in the afternoon in western and southern areas. The public is advised to take precautions against strong winds, lightning and misty conditions during the early morning hours. We'll be back with foreign news right after this short break.
A devastating winter storm has left a tragic trail across two-thirds of the United States, with officials now confirming at least 100 deaths linked to this extreme weather.
From the storm, nearly 200 million people with a treacherous mix of heavy snow, sleet and freezing rain. While the storm has passed, a lingering Arctic grip remains threatening to make this the longest duration of extreme cold the country has seen in several decades. Causes of death have been varied and heartbreaking, ranging from hypothermia and a car accident to cardiac emergencies caused by the strain of shoveling heavy snow. In New York City alone, 14 people were found dead in the cloud. Meanwhile, infrastructure is struggling to recover. Nearly 200,000 residents in the south and southeast are still without power as temperatures continue to plummet. The danger is far from over. The meteorologists are now tracking a potential bomb cyclone for the northeast this weekend. This rapidly intensifying system could bring hurricane-force winds and massive snowfall to a region already buried under several feet of lake-effect snow.
Spring is bringing to snow its colors in Japan's ancient capital. The historic Kitano Tenmango Shrine in Kyoto has officially opened its world-renowned plum garden to the public. Dedicated to the 10th century deity of learning Sugawara no Mishizen, the shrine is currently celebrating the early blooming of its 1500 plum trees, a flower the deity famously adored during his lifetime. This year, the natural beauty of the blossoms is paired with a striking modern twist. Visitors can admire the flowers alongside sparkling crystal ornaments draped from the branches. A special art installation created by acclaimed director and photographer Ninagawa Mikha, while only 30% of the early varieties are currently in bloom. The garden is already drawing crowds. And for those seeking a different perspective, the shrine will offer nighttime illumination through the late May, turning the orchard into a glowing, ethereal landscape. Local visitors say they are eagerly anticipating the full bloom, which promises to make this crystal-adorned garden even more ethereal. Moving on to sports news, England were able to win the second Sri Lanka-England T20 cricket match by 6 wickets under the Dutch work and Lewis method yesterday.
Accordingly, England also won the series with another match yet to be played. The match was played at Pallekele International Cricket Stadium. Winning the toss, England decided to field first. Accordingly, batting first, Sri Lanka were able to score 189 runs for 5 wickets in their 20 overs. The highest score of the innings, Pawan Ratnayake scored a brisk 40 runs in 22 balls. In bowling, Jofra Archer captured 2 wickets. Rain interrupted the England innings when they were 57 for 2 wickets, chasing a target of 190 runs for the victory. Accordingly, England received a target of 168 runs in 17 overs for a win under the Duckworth and Lewis method. They won the match by scoring 173 runs in 16.4 overs. Tom Banton was unbeaten on 64, while Josh Butler contributed with 39 runs. Matisha Pathirana captured 2 wickets for Sri Lanka. The final match of the series will commence at 7 p.m. tomorrow.
One bounce over the rope for 4. Up in the air, England will finish this in style. Sam Curran clears the rope, a second consecutive victory.
Meanwhile, the Ireland team arrived in the island to participate in the T20 World Cup cricket tournament. They have been included by the International Cricket Council due to the non-participation of Bangladesh team in the tournament. Officials of Sri Lanka Cricket and Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau and a number of other officials were present at the Katunaike airport to welcome the Ireland team on arrival. The T20 World Cup cricket tournament will commence on the 7th of this month, co-hosted by India and Sri Lanka. But that's it for tonight. Make sure to join us at the same time tomorrow. Good night.